Alright, well, I'm honored to present this next effect, inspired by a fantastic card trick presented by Miss Meg 822 called the Best Self-Working Card Trick. What I've done is I've just learned the principle underlying Miss Meg's trick, and I just used it to create just a little double prediction type of effect. So what we're going to do is have a spectator shuffle the deck of cards as much as they like. They could even use a borrowed deck if they want. Once they're satisfied that the deck is well mixed, we're going to spread out the shuffled deck of cards, and we're going to pull out a piece of paper to make our first prediction. So, if you bear with me one moment, I'll quickly write the first prediction. Okay, and we'll just quickly fold that up. And we'll just set that prediction aside. Right here, I guess. And then, oh, I gotta do one more prediction. Can't forget the second prediction, it's kind of an important one. Just bear with me a second. Let's see. Okay. Okay. We'll do that. And we'll set the second prediction right here. Somewhere like that. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is have the spectator deal from their shuffled deck of cards onto the table as many cards as they like. They should deal at least 16 cards because we're going to create a random 16 card 4x4 grid of cards in a moment here. So let's just say the spectator stops here. We'll get rid of the rest of the deck. We don't need it. Now we're going to have the spectator deal 4 piles. We'll just sort of deal them to the side here. Maybe up a little higher. Hope we can see that in the camera okay. So we'll deal them like so. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab the random cards they arrived at and create our 4x4 grid like I just said a moment ago. So we'll pick up the first 8 cards, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the spectator can mix the cards up as much as they like. And you're going to help the spectator just decide where they want to place their cards to form a 4x4 grid, or checkerboard style, like so, okay? So this 4x4 kind of checkerboard type of thing, okay? So they can set the cards any way they wish. They then take the next 4 cards from their piles that they've just dealt, and they can mix those cards up if they want, and place them in any of the open spaces in the 4x4 checkerboard. Any way they like, okay? And now for the 4 remaining spaces, actually let's just put one over here, make it look a little bit more randomized. Looks a little too symmetrical. Anyways, again, it doesn't matter. They can place it anywhere they want, but the last 4 cards, they can again mix, but with the last 4, they're going to place them face up. So they're going to be kind of the odd face-up cards, okay? Now what we're going to do is have the spectator choose any card, it doesn't matter which card, the face-up or face-down ones, and they're going to move that card any direction they wish. Now depending on the direction they move it, if they move it horizontal or vertical, they're going to actually flip the card as they move it. And they're going to pick up the next card underneath it as they move it. So it's always picking up either a card or a pile of cards when they move. And if they move diagonally, they don't flip the cards at all, the card or pile. So what's going to happen eventually is they're going to come to condensing all the cards into one pile with some random face-up, face-down cards. Okay. Now they don't have to continue with just one card in one pile. They can start a new pile somewhere else. So I'll show you what I mean. So let's say they start with this card. They can move this card. Again, they can go diagonally anyway, or vertical or horizontal. Now if they go vertical or horizontal, again they have to flip as they move. If they go diagonal, they don't flip the cards or card. Okay, so let's just say they decide to go diagonal. So they go here diagonally. So they move the card without flipping just to there. Now if they want to continue with this card, they have to pick up both cards in the pile. And again they can decide to move, let's say they decide to move vertical. If they move vertical, they have to flip it, so they flip both cards like so, just like that. Again, if they want to move with all the cards, they have to pick them up, pick all of them up, and they can move, let's say, diagonal without flipping. And they can start somewhere new if they want. They can start with this face-up card if they want and move diagonal on top of this face-up card. And then maybe pick up the cards, all the cards, and flip them because they're moving horizontal now. Again, they can continue moving horizontal, maybe in this direction, into this space, flipping them, and again flipping them onto this card. Again, it's completely their own free choice, just as long as they stick to the basic rules of flipping the cards in vertical, horizontal moves, and keeping them the same position in diagonals. So again, we're going to flip onto this card. Let's say with this one, we'll go diagonal, and let's just flip onto these. Okay, so you can see eventually we're just going to condense all the cards. Let's just pick up this pile. We'll move them diagonally, so we don't flip. We'll move diagonally again without flipping, and we'll flip onto this card. Now you can just imagine the spaces in between. So if we move any of these, we can move diagonally all the way down to this card if we want and drop them here. And if we move horizontally, we have to flip into these two spaces and land on there. And we can just move these diagonally all the way down to this last corner card, just like so. Now let's see what we've ended up with. We have a spread of cards here now with 4 face down and the rest face up. Now let's just see what the first prediction was. Now I believe this was the first prediction. Yes, so that was the first prediction. There would be 4 reversed cards. And as you can see, that's correct. So that should amaze them so far. But let's see what the second prediction is. The second prediction predicts 4 cards. There is only 4 cards depicted here, so it would mean, of course, that these 4 cards would be what's predicted: the Queen of Clubs, the Ace of Spades, and are the last 2 the 8 of Spades and 10 of Clubs. And there you have it. Just move on now to how that actually works. So really a very easy self-working impromptu effect. Basically all you're doing after they shuffle the deck is when you spread the cards out, you just secretly count 8 cards from the top of the deck. So you just kind of count 2, 4, 6, 8. And then the 9th card is going to be your first prediction card for your second prediction. Okay, the first prediction, you write down 4 reverse cards as your first prediction. There will always be just 4 reverse cards. That's just how it works. And then for your second prediction, you're going to write, after you count the first 8 cards, the 9th card you want to write down secretly, the 5 of Spades in this case would be the 9th card, and then the 10th card, the Jack of Clubs, the 11th, the 4 of Clubs, and then of course the 12th card, the 2 of Hearts. So yeah, so the 9, 10, 11, and 12th card from the top of the deck is what you want to write down as your second prediction. Okay? And that's it. The rest is completely self-working. The spectator, of course, they deal at least 16 cards. They can deal as many cards as they wish, stop anywhere they want. Now, there is one important thing you have to remember. When they deal the 4 piles, keep an eye on where they stopped dealing. This is very important. So you notice I stopped right on this second pile here. Because what you want to do, you're going to pick up the first 8 cards to create that first checkerboard style 4x4 grid. Now to do this, it's important that you pick up where they dealt last. So you pick up the card yourself, you just note to them that, mention to them that you're going to pick up 8 cards from their dealt pile. So you pick up the last card they dealt, 1, 2, and you pick up in reverse of how they dealt. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that will set you up for the rest perfectly. These 8 cards, it doesn't matter, they can mix them up as much as they like. They are then to create their 4x4 grid, just like so. They can do it any way they wish, but it has to be a 4x4 grid. It can't be any other way. And then you can just simply now take the next 4 top cards. They can mix those up any way they like, place them on any of the remaining empty spaces. And then the last 4, the 4 that they just set, those are going to be the forced cards that are in the prediction. The last 4 cards will not be, but they're an important factor in how the 4 that you've just dealt before these 4, the prediction cards, will show up. So it doesn't matter where these are placed. It'll just self-work now. They move vertical, they have to flip, or horizontal, they have to flip. Again, they move vertical, they flip, or they can move diagonal without flipping, diagonal without flipping, just like so, until they condense all the cards together. So again, we flip, move diagonal, diagonal, any way you like, flip that. I just jerked the camera, so I hope that didn't screw up. Anyways, I'll keep flipping the cards, and they have to flip on the imaginary spaces in between for this to work, okay? So you got to keep an eye on that. You may even have to help the spectator in some cases, but that's it. So once that's done, you'll see that you'll have the 4 reverse cards for the first prediction, and then you go to reveal the kicker and the second prediction to reveal the cards at the beginning. I don't know if you remember that, but you can check back in the video, but those were the 4 cards that you would have wrote down. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Talk to you later.